The January 6th committee is promising more hearings this fall as its investigation enters the next phase. And they're also not ruling out serving more subpoenas, including one to Ginni Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Congressional correspondent Nikole Killion is on Capitol Hill. Nikole, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you, Jerika. And the committee is engaged with Ginni Thomas's counsel. Her lawyer did not respond to requests for comment from CBS News, but has previously expressed serious concerns about her sitting for an interview.
It's very important for us to speak with her.
Vice Chair Liz Cheney warned the January 6th Select Committee could consider a subpoena against Ginni Thomas if the well-known conservative activist doesn't come forward.
I hope she will agree to do so voluntarily, but I'm sure we will contemplate a subpoena if she won't.
The committee sent a letter in June requesting her appearance after learning she exchanged messages with former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and attorney John Eastman, who authored a memo about how to block certification of the 2020 election results.
Whether it involves the wife of a Supreme Court justice or anyone else, if they have information or a role in an effort to overturn an election, yes, they're not excluded from examination.
Friday, former Trump political advisor Steve Bannon was convicted on 2 counts of contempt of Congress for defying a committee subpoena and could face up to 2 years in jail.
But you can't ignore a congressional subpoena or you'll pay the price.
The panel says it has not decided on a criminal referral to the Justice Department against the former president, but urged it not to wait.
I sure as hell hope they have a criminal investigation at this point into Donald Trump.
And emboldened Trump lashed out in a pair of weekend rallies.
If I announced that I was not going to run for office, the persecution of Donald Trump would immediately stop.
The former president will be in Washington for a speech tomorrow. This will be his first time back since he left office in January 2021. But former Vice President Mike Pence may be looking to steal some of his thunder with his own speech here in town tonight. Jerika?
All right, Nikole, thank you. You know, if she does speak to the committee, could Ginni Thomas' testimony impact Clarence Thomas's role as Supreme Court justice, even potentially leading to an impeachment, as some lawmakers have suggested?
Well, I think we're far from that point. I think first it depends if she even talks to the panel. And initially she said she wanted to clear up some misconceptions. But then again, her lawyer expressed some concerns about her sitting for an interview, primarily saying that it's been a stressful time for the Thomases. And especially with kind of the protests we have seen outside of some justices' homes. They say that her lawyer rather says that, they've received death threats and the like. And then also her lawyer has argued that in terms of the communications that she had with Mark Meadows and John Eastman, in her attorney's view, he didn't really see anything there, so he doesn't really see the need for her to sit before the panel. That being said, as you heard Liz Cheney say, it's certainly possible that the committee could subpoena her if she doesn't come before them voluntarily. And, other members of the committee, like Adam Schiff, told our Margaret Brennan that it could potentially cross the line, considering that, there was a point in time where the Supreme Court did rule on a case when the committee was trying to access records from the former president, and Justice Thomas was the only justice who dissented in that decision.
Right. Well, I know we'll definitely stay on that. Switching gears now, are there any updates regarding the deleted text messages from the Secret Service surrounding the January 6th committee?
Well, Vice Chair Liz Cheney said that, over the next couple of weeks, they will continue to talk to more witnesses and that she does expect testimony in particular from Tony Ornato as well as Bobby Engel. Those are some of the Secret Service officials who were involved with the former president's detail and were potentially involved in what had been described as an altercation in the presidential limousine. But more so than that, many committee members that I talked to say that they do want to get to the bottom of these text messages. So far, the panel has only received one from that period between January 5th and January 6th. The director of the Secret Service put out a statement late last week saying that, his agency has been cooperating with the panel, that he has directed his staff to fully cooperate with the panel, and that he is working with the committee to try to finalize times for some of his personnel to speak with the committee.
All right, Nikole, we have to ask you about this while we've got you here today. The Senate is expected to vote to end the debate on the semiconductor manufacturing and science-focused economic competitive package, also known as the CHIPS Plus bill. It's a $280 billion package What does this bill include, and can you give us a sense, an overview, if you will, on the debate so far about it?
Yeah, and it's a mouthful too, right?
It definitely is.
To get out. So we'll just stick to CHIPS Plus.
I like that.
Look, this is, as you mentioned, a bill that would basically provide billions of dollars in grants for semiconductor manufacturing and research, help with 5G wireless deployment, provide tax credits for spending on new manufacturing plants, as well as providing more science-focused provisions and really trying to boost high-tech research. Now, this is part of a slimmed-down package from a bigger bill that was designed to boost U.S. competition with China. So that's kind of why there's been some back and forth among lawmakers, both in the House and Senate, as to whether they really wanted to kind of pare things back. And that's why you see them now trying to put more things back into it. So that being said, overall, we do expect it to clear the Congress simply because this has been a priority for the administration and many lawmakers, and they've been working on it for the better part of a year.
Are there any other things that are notable on their agenda before they go into recess in just 2 weeks?
Well, the House will be out this week. The Senate will be out next week. And as always, there's a lengthy to-do list. One thing we're keeping close tabs on is a bill that just recently cleared the House that would codify marriage equality protections, the Respect for Marriage Act. That is something that we're trying to see if there's enough Republican support on the Senate side. Also, we expect the Senate to vote on whether or not Sweden and Finland should be allowed to join NATO, whether they will support ratification for a potential agreement there, which is something that leader Mitch McConnell has been pushing for since his visit to Ukraine a couple of weeks ago. So we do expect that to clear the Congress. But there are a number of other things. Democrats are trying to push the slimmed down reconciliation package, which would encompass some of the president's priorities with respect to lowering the cost of prescription drugs and additional health care subsidies. You also have in the House, there's an effort to try to pass more police funding. So again, there's always, more and more and more and more that lawmakers are trying to do. Whether or not they can get it done in these 2 weeks remains to be seen, but we expect to be pretty busy, Jerika.
Yeah, Nikole, it's never a dull moment on Capitol Hill, and you always do such a good job of breaking it down for us. Thank you so much.
You bet.